Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to the show. This week, we're doing something a little bit different because we're going to kind of jump and bounce around different horror movie film news, TV show news as well. But before we do that, I'm Alan. That's John, and we are the Horror Guys. Thank you. Yes. What's going on?
Sound effect.
We're moving up. No, we do not have a live in studio audience yet, but hey, maybe someday.
I can see my video is already starting to mess up. I love it.
Yes, yeah. It was fine before I hit the record button. If you notice that.
Yeah.
So, I think.
That's all right.
Well, since we're on the subject, just to let everybody know, we are still working through some of our technical details, getting used to this. The noise that everybody heard last week bouncing around, that was my children upstairs. Somebody asked if it was the dryer, which kind of made me laugh.
No, he did not put his children in the dryer. Do not ask that question next.
No, I didn't. I didn't do that. No, it was my kids jumping around playing upstairs. They are quite wild, and down here, this system here picks up everything. So, anyway, nonetheless, this week we are going to essentially just kind of go through and talk about. There's not a lot of news on any one big subject, but we have plenty of things that we have not talked about yet, little tidbits here and there, and we're going to cover some of that stuff here. So the first thing I think that we should probably jump into is you saw Studio 666. I have not yet, so we'll do an actual review of that one later. But that's the one with the Foo Fighters. What did you think? What are your thoughts on it?
I'll be honest with you. I went into it not expecting much. And real quick before I get into this whole thing, when my video does this and messes up, I'm just gonna put a picture of myself and eliminate the shitty video look.
Yeah.
Anyway, I went into it not expecting much at all, but I actually liked it. It's not really anything different from your classic rock and roll and possession type movie, remember Trick or Treat from the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Or Black Rose from the 80s and stuff like that. It's pretty much got the same formula, just add in the Foo Fighters. But it actually wasn't that bad, and I actually enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to picking it up whenever the hell it comes out.
I'm looking forward to seeing it, and actually it's kind of crazy because their drummer just passed away. Recently.
The night that I watched it, it came out that he passed away.
Yeah. So I presume the whole band was in the movie, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Once I see it, we could actually sit down here and do a spoiler review of it and really get into it. And of course, always would like to know what everybody else has to say. So I'm gonna let you kick it off here. You shared some things with me today, and all of it. I mean, I've known of some of it, but I mean, all of it's super interesting. What do you want to jump into first here?
Well, they're fast tracking the hell out of the next Scream movie. How about that?
2023, March of 2023. So we're going to be less than a year away now.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely capitalizing on the fact that the last one did well, and they're moving on this next one super fast.
Yeah.
The only really bit of news that I've seen out of it is that Courtney Cox signed back on. But Nev Campbell's still unsure yet.
That's interesting.
She's reading the script, but she hasn't made a commitment to it yet.
So I had thought when they did this recent one, it was with a trilogy in mind, and I still am kind of believing that. But it's interesting to me that they hadn't locked her down that early. But she was a little wishy-washy about the last one too, whether or not she wanted to do it. So. I guess, if she's reading the script, I guess the good news is if she signs on, then that the script was at least good enough for her to want to do the movie. So,
kind of look at it almost the way you look at Jamie Lee coming back for Halloween. You know,
Right.
she's the in that franchise, she's the main girl.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
does she want to continue on with that type of film, or does she want to say, okay, I came back, I did my thing, and now I'm going to bow out gracefully? You kind of have to bring her back though. If you bring back Gail,
Yeah.
Courtney Cox, you have to
It
bring her back.
it would be very weird not having her in the movie. Um,
Yeah.
Not only that, how would you explain her absence? Yeah, I'm interested to know how that would work. But um, I think ultimately she'll probably sign on. I think it'd be insane if she didn't. But who knows? Like I said, she was not exactly. It took her. I mean, for years after Wes died, she said she wasn't going to do another one.
Yeah.
So she changed her mind. But we'll see. That's
I think
interesting.
I think that was the old school manner of the past cast. Wes Craven. He wasn't the one that wrote it. He wasn't the one involved in it, and that was tough for them to kind of say, "All right,
Yeah.
let's jump in real quick." Because I'm not saying these guys are tarnishing his work because they actually did a really good job with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you're a past cast member of working with Wes Craven, it's probably tough for you to say, "I'm just going to jump in real quick," because you think about what you already did on his films, So
Right. And
I'm sure that's tough.
yeah, and as we mentioned, as good as it was, you could tell it wasn't Wes's work. I mean, you could tell. I mean, the atmosphere of it, a lot about it, and that's not a knock on the movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it was actually better than what I thought it would be without him. It's just they did as good as anybody was going to do, but it was not a Wes Craven Scream movie, and it was obvious. If you watch the fourth one and then turn around and watch this one, you'll see that. You'll see the difference. So I can understand where there could be a reluctancy to say, "Hey, I want to jump into this." There's certain expectations in terms of what these movies should be. So we'll see.
I mean, we're definitely going to check it. I know I'm going to go see it. So
Oh, no question, no question. And I think we'll cover it extensively on here. The more we get, we'll do just like we do with the Halloween stuff, and we'll jump into that. Speaking of Halloween, flipping the script here to yet another, the next thing that we wanted to cover. Jason Blum recently said that we are getting something soon. What does that mean? What are your thoughts? What could it mean?
it could be anything, really. It could be a tease of what the mask is going to look like because everybody wants to know that. We could get a teaser poster. We could get the official poster. We can get a small clip, maybe. It's hard to say, man. We
Yeah.
already know the release, so obviously we're not getting that. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's tough to say. I think it'll have to be something decently good for them to tease it as kind of like how they did. Because you can't
Yeah.
say something's coming soon and something stupid where they're gonna be like, "Oh, well, screw this, I don't care."
I think it could be either a promo picture or a poster. Those are my top two contenders. Um, the more unlikely contenders for me would be either a clip from the movie or a trailer. I think that kind of stuff is going to come later. I guess I could see a teaser, like a quick teaser, something very, very short. But even that, I think, is unlikely. I think a still photo of some kind. I lean more towards a poster. I think a poster is in my opinion the most likely scenario. We see a poster, but who knows? They've surprised before with things and delivering things that. And of course the fiasco last year with the poster, with their rather the trailer being leaked. Hopefully we don't run into a situation like that again because that was just a bummer. Um,
Oh,
you know,
I agree. They have their, as I think, as far as I heard, their Blumfest thing coming up later this month. So a lot of people think we might get something there. But there's also like festivals and all that stuff coming up in the summertime, which is really when the trailer will drop.
yeah,
So they'll get it before we will, so it'll probably get spoiled for us before we're even supposed to get it, like it did last time.
And then yeah, anytime something is played, if they show something like that, there's a risk. You know, they do a good job. They do a good job at those events, trying to be. You know how it is when you're dealing with that many people, and everybody has one of these days.
Yep.
It's hard. It's hard to really guarantee that you're going to keep everything locked in. We've seen it with this, you know, with Halloween, the last couple movies. You know, it's been difficult. God, every time I do this, Adobe Flash just decides it wants to update. Maybe I should just do the update after we're done here, so it doesn't do this next week.
Yep. It'll just keep popping up every time.
But
It's okay. My video has not been clear since we started recording.
I know. Maybe yeah, I don't get that. I really don't. So I want to real quick. We speaking of Blumhouse, this is something we didn't talk about, but it just popped into my head. The actress who Jessica Roth kind of got horror fans kind of riled up this week by talking about how she would like to see a crossover with Happy Death Day and Freaky.
Okay. That's something.
Now, the director of Freaky says that he does not believe there will be a sequel. When asked about the crossover idea, he basically said he was unsure, which is an interesting, instead of
Just a flat out no.
a flat out no, the idea that he might say, I don't know about that, means you almost wonder, is there traction there? I, for one, would totally be here for it. I love both the Happy Death Day movies. I loved the Freaky movie. I love Freaky. I would love to see a crossover.
I'm actually looking forward. I was hoping that they were going to make a third Happy Death Day movie.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no news on that yet. So I probably, if they're going to explore that more, I would probably guess there would be a third Happy Death Day movie, because those were very good, very well done, kind of in the black comedy kind of horror comedy kind of genre, lots of fun. So I don't know. I just thought that was interesting. I just wanted to throw that out there. It's not really news because it's more speculation than anything else, but it's interesting nonetheless that you have. People are talking about it, and you know how these things go. Sometimes something that might not even be in the plans, might not be even in the works, the idea pops up, and enough interest is shown in it that it gets the studio thinking, well, maybe that would be a good idea. Maybe it's something we should explore. So you never really know, and it's just an interesting tidbit.
Speaking of Blumhouse, since we're on the subject, they actually are the ones that have remade Firestarter, which is coming out.
Yes.
That's going streaming. I want to say HBO Max. I could be wrong on that one. Don't quote me.
I could actually double check.
13th, I think.
Well, let's see. Firestarter.
Interesting remake. I mean, the original's good. It's a Stephen King story, obviously.
Yes.
Drew Barrymore being the lead actress in the original. So I don't know. It's one of those ones I don't think I'll again go in looking forward too much out of it, but maybe it'll be good. Who knows?
Peacock is what is according to Peacock. Well, speaking of Stephen King, I love these transitions. We're doing good here. We're doing good because speaking of Stephen King and HBO Max, actually,
Yes.
we have news that we've not seen the last of Pennywise, and that they are going to do the much rumored It prequel, and they're going to do it in the form of a limited series on HBO Max entitled Welcome to Derry. Now, real quick, I just want to point out, because a lot of people will say that how are you gonna remake, how are you gonna do a prequel to something that's never, both the It movies were based on a book. If they do it true to form, I was actually talking to a friend of mine because I've never read it. I started reading it and I mean to finish it. Um, but the actual backstory of Pennywise, a lot of it is in that book, the original book. So they have the source material to draw from to actually do this. So this is a really interesting thing, and I'm actually pretty excited about it. And I'm hoping that they get the Skarsgård kid. I forget his name. Bill,
Oh
right?
yeah,
Bill.
Bill.
Hopefully he's on to play Pennywise.
I would hope so. I mean, honestly, man, like you said, there's source there to do it. They teased a little bit in chapter two, very little bit about his past.
Yeah,
But what I read about that was it's also going to talk about that 27-year curse and all that in
yeah.
between of how he comes back and all that other shit and stuff like that. So there's some interesting stuff you can do with it. What does he do in his downtime? Like, does he just sit around and do nothing for 27 years? Like,
Right.
he's like Keepers Creepers. He comes back every 23 years. He feeds and he goes away. Like, I don't know. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
who knows?
Yeah, I think we'll probably see more of because they said something about a carnival in the original. We'll probably figure out why he decides to take the form of a clown.
Right.
How he gets here,
I think
because as you know, he's like an alien. He's like an interdimensional creature from some other, I don't know, planet or place. So it'll be interesting
I
to see.
always, from my understanding, it was basically he took the form of stuff that he knew that actually scared people.
Yes.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
honestly, people freaked out by clowns.
Yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
mean, so I
Yeah.
think that's why he took that form for sure. But you
Yeah.
remember in the 1990 version, he was the werewolf too, because it scared the shit out of the one
He
kid.
was the werewolf. He was the spider at the end.
Yep.
Uh,
That was the only part I didn't understand. Why the fuck did the spider have headlights? Like why? Why didn't it have car headlights? I was like, wait,
it's the early '90s.
yeah, yeah, you gotta love it. 80s, 90s horror movies never die. I'm
but you still, I mean, Tim Curry's portrayal of Pennywise the clown was absolutely,
absolutely, man.
legendary. But at the same time, they did not take anything away from his performance. And
No,
they did a fantastic job. I don't know which one I love more because they both did such a great job playing the character.
I you'll never catch me say a bad thing about Tim Curry because you know I absolutely love the guy.
Mhm.
Uh, for me, I think he will always be the Pennywise, but I
Mhm.
do say that Bill Skarsgård did a hell of a good job. Now I'm not going to knock him for it.
He was
I thought,
terrifying.
yeah, no, he was creepy as hell.
But
And then again, and you said it too. Though, look at the times. It was the '90s
yeah, yeah.
versus
And I'll
so
never
it was
I'll never forget that Curry did such a good job of making, hiya Georgie, that real creepy man. As a kid, that scared the living shit out of me. Um,
yes,
and it's two separate. It was done two different ways, and it worked both ways. And I do hope that they bring Bill back to play the character in the show. I can't imagine that they wouldn't, but of course there has to be mutual interest there as well. And I don't know, maybe he's already signed on, but
true.
but
I don't know.
all right, we got a couple more things here that popped up. We'll jump into this here. Tell me about this Jeffrey Dean Morgan thing. What's this? Jeffrey Dean Morgan will battle an evil ventriloquist doll in horror movie Felix. What's the
You know what?
backstory on this?
When I sent that to you, that's the first I saw of it. Uh,
Yeah.
with The Walking Dead finally actually ending, they just filmed the last episode overall. I think it was like 2 weeks ago. So now, of course, news is coming out about some of these other characters from that show, kind of bumping into new stuff. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It said it's the cross between was it Super 8 and Child's Play. I've never
Yeah.
seen Super 8, so I can't really vouch for that. I'll
It's
just stick
fa-
with Child.
it's very good. Yeah.
I've
It,
never seen that.
if it has the quality of Super 8, and that would be great. And I obviously you could see where the Child's Play reference comes from if it's an evil
Right.
ventriloquist. Or you could look at the old R.L. Stein children's Goosebumps books with
Slappy. Yeah.
Slappy the
Yeah.
dummy.
Or remember Dead Silence? Remember that one?
Yes,
Mary Shelley.
there's another one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I like Jeffrey Dean Morgan quite a bit. I think he's pretty good at picking good scripts. He seems to enjoy the horror stuff. By the way, we'll have to sit down and do an in-depth Walking Dead thing eventually, one of these days.
Oh, man.
I'm actually fairly behind on the show. I got to catch up, but
I'm honest with you. I'm one of those people that I started it from day one when it started.
yeah,
And here I am, still watching it. Just watched last night's kind of season finale until they
yeah,
head into the actual finale in October.
right,
I'm still into it, man. I actually kind of enjoyed what they did so far with this half a season,
yeah.
but not sure where they're going to take it and how they're going to end it overall. I feel like I don't want to blow anything for you because I don't know how far you are into it.
I'm a little behind on it, but I'm with you. I've remained a fan from the beginning. I mean, I watched the first episode the night it came on, and was a religious watcher after that. And now it's with kids and everything. It gets tough, as you know. But
Absolutely.
you know, when we can, we try to catch up. I'm hoping to be caught up by the time the final episode airs in October, so I could watch it that way. But I mean, like any show, it's a long show. It's been on for over a decade now, which is crazy to think of. It's had its
You might as well call it 12 seasons because even though
yeah,
they extended 11, it's really 12 seasons.
yeah,
It's a
and
long run.
it is, and it's had its ups and downs. You've had characters come, characters go. I mean, if you look at the cast from the first episode and compare it to now, it's just incredible.
There's like 2 left.
Yeah,
Crazy.
and but it's really, despite all of that, it's been a solid show. Now, some of the spin-offs at times are difficult to watch.
I watched 1 episode of Fear the Walking Dead and I couldn't do any more than that. I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah, I watched a few, and we've tried to get into it, and it's been tough. And
Another one coming.
Yeah,
Of the Walking Dead,
yeah, and allegedly there was supposed to be a movie. Yeah, I
the
don't know.
Rick Grimes series was supposed to be like 3 different movies to span over like 3 years or something like that.
Yeah, so
And then basically COVID hit and they just kind of fell off. But then there's already talk of a spin-off for Jeffrey Dean Morgan and the Maggie character to go off and do their thing in New York. And then there's a show coming up with Daryl and Carol. They're going to go do their own thing too.
That's
so there's
interesting.
already 2 spin-offs coming off of the finale of The Walking Dead. So
Hey,
man,
it is one hell of a property, and an intellectual property. There's
ending. It may be ending, but it's never really going to die off.
It's never gonna no, and there's always gonna be an appetite for it. So definitely, we'll be talking about that for years. I think. I mean, they're gonna just keep going with it. Movies, shows. All right, we got the final thing we're gonna talk about. This honestly, this is. Let me just read it.
Okay.
Christopher, you sent this to me earlier. Christopher Lloyd, this Halloween, Christopher Lloyd is starring in a movie called Spirit Halloween. Or I don't know if it's called Spirit Halloween, but it is, and I will read this for you. If you're thinking of the store, if you're thinking of the Halloween store that pops up in any abandoned, empty building every October, you would be correct. That's exactly what they're talking about here.
Years ago, it used to be indie wrestling shows that would pop up in any building. Now it's Halloween.
Right. Indie wrestling shows still pop up.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Whether it be professional.
You know what, man? Wouldn't that be a hell of a crossover if we did a show at Spirit Halloween? How about that?
That's a great idea.
See, that's something. There we go. We might be onto something here.
I think so. That would actually, if you think about the crossover there, it's actually perfect.
Oh yeah, dude, that would be awesome, man.
It would be. We should look into that.
Absolutely.
I mean, they're doing movies, Spirit Halloween movies now. So why not Spirit Halloween Wrestling?
Exactly.
SHW. SHW.
Michael Myers in the main event against Ghostface.
That's it. For all of you that wanted to see a Michael versus Jason crossover, you've ever wondered what was going to happen, come to see SHW.
Right.
Michael
animatronic battle world. You know, it's all coming to play now. Let's book the whole damn show, man.
It's money. All right. So anyway, this is what you sent me. Christopher Lloyd and Rachel Lee Cook will star in this movie. And here's a synopsis. When a new Spirit Halloween store appears in a deserted strip mall, these things happen. This part, so far,
Oh yeah,
is
this is
accurate.
definitely real. Yeah, this is real.
Three middle school friends who think they've outgrown trick-or-treating make a dare to spend the night locked inside the store Halloween night. Kids, don't do this. Don't do that. That's illegal.
Yes.
Nonetheless, but they soon find out that the store is haunted by an angry evil spirit who has possessed the creepy animatronic characters. The kids embark on a thrilling and spooky adventure in order to survive the night and avoid becoming possessed themselves. I gotta be honest with you, that sounds awesome.
It does. Now, here's my question. Now, Spirit is very big on like the animatronics that are like licensed by, well, so like Pennywise.
I thought about what you're
Yeah.
about to ask, yeah.
Right. They had Killer Clowns last year. They've had Michael Myers. They've had Jason. They've had Freddy. Are those going to be able to be used in the movie, or are they going to have to come up with the stuff that we've seen that's like the little kid on the swing that like talk shit, or
Yeah.
the random with the big axe, like is that going to be more
As much
their thing?
as much as I would love to see Jason and Michael and Freddy and all these characters, that I would imagine would have to be a licensing nightmare for them, because you're dealing with okay, first you go to Blumhouse and you get the rights to use Michael Myers, which might work out. They're trying to promote a new Halloween movie. It would be a nice crossover for them. You might snag that one fairly easily.
We might get maybe one cameo of a
Maybe.
animatronic, but who knows?
But when you look at the legal stuff with the Friday the 13th movies, and then we've heard nothing about Nightmare on Elm Street. Who knows? Chucky, maybe. I think that more than likely you're gonna see just their animatronic things, but that could be a positive for them because they could create their own kind of character. I mean, they could create their own villain, or they could create
obviously in the store.
exactly. So as much as I would love to see, I just think that the licensing for that is just, unfortunately, that would be very, very difficult. Hell, if they're able to do it, more power to them. But I think that would be very difficult for them. But either way, I really think that the movie, the idea for the movie is really cool. It's smart on their part. It'll be neat to see how they portray the Spirit Halloween store.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I love those places.
Oh, me too, man. I can't wait. In August, before you know it'll be here and they'll be opening up, so I'm ready.
Yeah, for sure. So I mean, we're not far off. I mean, it's crazy to think now we're heading into the summer.
Yeah.
I want to say that I think that we should. You and Cassie did a video that I saw, and you put it on the Horror Guys site, and we should actually share that on here. Where you guys went to the Conneaut Lake ghost
the haunted
thing.
house.
I don't know if I ever told you. I don't know if I ever told you. I found that and watched it, and I really thought it was great.
Dude,
And,
you know how many times I got hollered at for using the camera, but like I was
Really?
told that I was allowed to video. I specifically talked to, at the time it was John Cage. Remember him?
yes, yeah, he was big into that. Yeah,
He was working there, and he's like, "I got you these 2 tickets. You guys can go out." I was like, "Are we able to film for Horror Guys?" And he said, "Yes." So I took the camera on everything. That fucking roller coaster, though, I was about to die.
well, I always think about that. I think that's funny because a funny story about that, and we're gonna have to post the video. We're gonna have to post the video now. We're gonna have to do it.
I'll send it to you.
Send it to me because we're gonna have to. But it's funny because several years prior to that, Jenny and I were wanting to just do something fun. I said, "Hey, I went to this Conneaut Lake Park when I was a kid. Let's take a picnic and go out there and check it out." And it was like, holy shit, you could film a horror movie at this place. You don't need to decorate it up for Halloween. Half the buildings were dilapidated. The people running the rides look like serial killers themselves. And that roller coaster, which by the way has been condemned. You do know that, right?
Are you serious?
Recently they condemned that thing. I'm pretty sure. You can double check. The Blue Streak or whatever it was called, I'm pretty sure they condemned it.
Yeah.
But I rode that thing, and I'm telling you, I swear to God, when I went around the one banked curve, I'm pretty sure
Yes,
the thing like lifted up off the ground, like the wood came, like
absolutely.
you know how like when you're swinging on a swing set, like an old swing set, and
Yes,
and the things come
it
up out
comes
of the
up off
ground.
the ground.
I think that was happening on that roller coaster.
I 100% don't doubt it because here we are, and that was one of their catches of this. That's literally so they give you like a card, and they punch your hole on each attraction you go to. So we were trying to just go as we're as it is on the
Yeah.
card basically. That's the first thing you do. Man, it is pitch black. You can't see shit. I'm trying to hold my phone and videotape at the same time. I'm pretty sure my phone almost flew out of my hand a couple times. I thought I was gonna have a heart attack on that thing. It scared the shit out of me. I don't
Was
do roller coasters, and that was some shit doing that in the pitch black like that, man.
well
Hated it.
that
I hated it.
I will tell you what. So the whole thing, where I was kind of going with it, and yes, we have to post the video now because I guarantee you, anybody watching this is wondering. But we should go to Kennywood, and we'll see if they'll let us
Oh,
film. We'll see if they'll let us film. If they won't let us film, probably just film anyways. But we should go to Kennywood and do the same thing this October.
just
I,
don't put my ass on any rides because I'm not doing it. I'm not. No roller
I
coasters for me, dude.
these ones I'll tell you are a little bit more they're maintained a lot better.
Oh, you can hear the screws rattling loose on this fucking thing as you're riding it. Okay,
Yeah, I
that's
believe it.
scary, dude.
I'm telling
Yeah.
you, I'm riding this thing, and I was thinking when I first got there, I'll ride this thing over and over again. There's nobody here; it'll be fun. I love riding roller coasters. I'm midway through this thing. I'm like, I ain't getting back on this thing again.
Hell no. That is the final ride you take. That's it. Like the best. It's roller coaster's 300 years old. No shit. You can tell when you're riding it.
The wood's rotting.
Immediate shit. That's the weirdest thing. I forget where I went, but this has been years ago, and I remember like it was a very old roller coaster from like the Idor Park days.
Yeah,
We know Idor Park. Other people may not know the name, but
actually, it closed. It closed before I was born. Right
Oh,
before I was born.
I got to go when I was a kid.
I
And
remember Geauga Lake.
yeah, me. Oh yeah, absolutely. But I got to go to Idor Park with like my mom and my dad and stuff when I was younger, and I remember like riding the roller coasters there and stuff, and being scared of them when I was a kid too. Like,
Yeah,
okay, this is kind of, but what the fuck. But no, man, you get in these lines for these rides sometimes, and they tell you it's old, Idor Park era
yeah.
roller, and you're watching the wood shift as it goes by, and you're like, I'm not getting on this fucking thing. Are
Well,
you nuts?
the thing is they should maintain those things.
Yeah.
If it's a hundred
Hey,
year
it's
old
300
wood,
years old.
yeah,
We've never touched it.
yeah,
Oh,
right.
tighten up.
That's the bad right. You should. I mean, really, the wood actually shouldn't be 100 years old. At some point in time, it should have all been
Nice.
replaced. You're just talking about the
Dude,
same
termites. Termites.
termites, water, wood rot. I mean, anyway,
Right.
nonetheless, I do think that we should certainly, um, do some things this Halloween. Kennywood would be cool. Um,
Yeah.
Some haunted houses. We could go to whatever. And if you guys, we live in the Northeast Ohio area, guys. If there's somewhere you think we should go and do a review, let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
And we'll definitely look into it. I just real quick because we're probably coming close to the end here. Oh yeah, we've been trying to give away this book, and I need. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm just looking up to get the screen names of the people who commented. I was gonna give two of them away. Because at the time, two people had commented, and now I have a third comment, and so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna still give away the two, but
Or are we about to drum roll and a crowd applause here? Are we gonna have a big winner
well,
here?
here we go. I don't have a winner. I don't have a winner because
Oh my.
nobody's got. That's the thing. Nobody's gotten back to me. So here's what we're gonna do. All right, let me look at the comments here because there's all right. The first one, the first winner was Tristan Quarter, who said digging the channel. Tristan Quarter, if you're watching, get a hold of us. You can get a hold of us on Twitter. Is probably the easiest way.
Yeah.
And we'll private. Send us a private message. We'll get your info, and we'll send you the book. We'll figure that out. We'll figure out a way to get you the book. The second person, Keith Ashabranner. He said, "Nice interview. Was that your channel's first interview? Good job." I also messaged him. Thank you again. I'll get you. Both of you guys will get the book if you message us. And there's only one more. There's only one more on here. I might as well give away 3 because and this will be the last one. And honestly, you're getting the book. I'm including you because your screen name is absolutely perfect. He says, "Love this channel," and the name of the username is Y, the letter Y, you dumb. So
why you dumb?
Why you dumb? You go ahead and message us as well, and I'll send you out a book as well. There, I've set it out on the show.
That's my choice for the winner right there. Why you dumb? I love it.
He definitely
answered the question of was it our first interview? Actually, years ago. Alan
oh, that's true.
Now he's not a popular person in the Halloween community.
Not anymore. At the time, he was not out of favor.
Right. We got a chance to talk to Tony Moran, who you all know is the unmasked Michael Myers from Halloween '78. On behalf of both of us, he was super kind to us. He did not have to give us that time.
Right.
We are working on trying to get a way to kind of kill some of the background music. Unfortunately, when we were able to talk to him, the store had music playing, and that kind of sucks a little bit because it took away a lot of our audio. But I'm looking at trying to fix that so we can actually get it posted on the page. So get with us. We enjoyed talking to him, and that was actually our first interview, and that was like 5 years ago now.
And actually, I may have actually, and that reminds me because I answered the question on our actually I did not say it. I was thinking, it was our first interview on this particular channel, but we did. We interviewed Tony. He was very gracious to us, very cool with us. Let us talk to him. Answered all of our questions honestly. Gave us a lot of time, and it's not like there weren't people there to see him.
Right. Yep.
So that was very cool. Granted, since then he said some things that a lot of people didn't appreciate, understandably. But I think we'll always be appreciative of the fact that he gave us a few minutes to talk to us because, like love him or hate him, he is a part of Halloween as the unmasked Michael Myers. His face is the first ever face of Michael Myers you see. So I mean, it's interesting to talk to somebody who was in that movie and played not the shape, but he played Michael. So yeah.
2 huge Halloween fans for us. That was like super awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
That franchise that we love. So,
and hopefully we get to talk to somebody else from the franchise, sooner than later. That's certainly our goal. I'm gonna kick it over to you again. You can tell everybody where they can find us.
All right, you can find us on Twitter. Find us on Facebook. You can find us on Spotify as Apple Music or podcast. And I do believe there was another one that, like Alan says, we kind of show up just about anywhere. So check us out. Spotify's fun for driving in the car. You want to listen to us rather than watch us. Mm-hmm. Jump on Spotify, check us out. And also, as obvious here, you got to check us out on YouTube too. Subscribe to the channel, share with your friends, and continue to leave us comments. We like them both hateful.
Yes.
Nice. We like them all, so send them to us.
Yeah, and we try to respond. I go through sometimes and respond. I've been trying to figure out a way to get you to respond as one of the horror guys, but if you get a response from Real Action Pro Wrestling, that's John.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah.
So
that's my only YouTube. That's my guy. Sorry.
But that's okay. It doesn't matter. I mean, as long as they know who they're talking to. So we do try to interact. I do read the comments, and I know you do as well, so we enjoy them, even if we don't reply directly to you. We've been getting a lot more lately, which is a good thing, and we'll still try to respond. It might take us some time, but we'll try to get to as many as we can. For all the people, we have right now 53 subscribers, which That's fun. I mean, we started with 0, so we have 53. The people commenting, telling us they love the channel, love the show. Even the people who post some constructive criticism with our sound and everything. Listen, we hear you. We're working at it. It certainly is a work in progress, but I hope we get there soon.
Apologize on behalf of my shitty video. That's why you can see a picture of me.
Yeah.
For this whole show.
Yeah, and we'll hopefully we'll figure that out eventually.
I made it fun last time, though. I switched up the pictures and had a little fun with it. So
yeah,
I try to make it fun as possible.
Right. It adds more work on your plate, but it's fun, and fun's fun. So, but that's all I got. Again, thanks. This was a fun one. This is actually, we didn't know what the hell we were going to talk about today, and I had fun. I got to tell you, I had fun. And
more weeks of random horror news may be coming because this was a good time.
I think so. This was a lot of fun, and I hope you guys enjoyed it too. Let us know what you think. If you didn't enjoy it, let us know. I mean, maybe everybody else hated it. I don't know, but I had fun, I think next week we'll have probably a movie review for you of some sort. So I think that's the plan tentatively, unless.
Oh yeah.
Unless they drop the hell. Yeah. What's that?
The Ty West movie.
That's right.
That came out a few weeks ago.
Yes.
That is actually coming to video on demand as of this Thursday.
Yes.
And then it comes out on DVD and Blu-ray on May 24th.
So I think
we're going to watch that between now and next week. And maybe we'll cover that.
I think that'll be the plan, unless we are all shocked and the Halloween Ends trailer drops. We'll be talking about that instead. But regardless, we will see you this time next week. And I got nothing else.
That's it, man. I'm out.
All right. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in.
Later.
Fans, check out and follow the Horror Guys. You can find them on Facebook, facebook.com/The Horror Guys. On Twitter, Horror Guys 21, that's HORRORGUYS 21. On YouTube, The Horror Guys. And also on Spotify, search for The Horror Guys.
Beetlejuice.